change of pace in a different room. You guys might hear my bird in the background. He was kind of having himself a day today. So I'm here to give him support. So revisiting the B.E. Meyers MAWL. Why would you spend $2,600 on this compared to something like, I don't know, the Steiner D-Ball A, for example? So after running a night vision course with a whole bunch of other people, a lot of them cops, a lot of them with the non-civilian legal ones, I can tell you one thing definitively, is a lot of people got really pissed off when I was running the mall. Why? My light completely washed out theirs. So yes, the B.E. Meyers MAWL was completely washing out every single person's Steiner, every single person's, you name it. People were getting mad because they couldn't see when I was illuminating something. I am not personally restricted to only having the civilian legal one. I will tell you, however, that I cannot see a difference between the two. If I'm being completely honest, I think that B.E. Meyers is kind of underselling everything. And with most things, their output is nowhere near what is claimed. My visible green, my IR flood, my IR laser are considerably brighter than other things that are within the same spectrum wavelength and power. You wanna come here? Here you go. You're being noisy. You gonna say hi? You gonna say hi? Why is your face so messy? Hello. Hi. If I give you a peanut, will you shut up? Huh? Don't eat that. That's my watch. Hey. No. 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 Sterling, no. Hey, knock it off. No. Knock it off. You just pooped on my hand. Little bugger. Right, fine. You want a peanut? I got poop on me now. What am I supposed to do with that? I'll give you a peanut, but you gotta say hi to everyone. Here. Can I go back to reviewing? Oh, you dropped it in your water. Oh, that's dead. Yeah, there's another peanut there. Gross, 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 gross. There you go. Okay, I gotta go back to talking to the people now. And back to the show. You guys are just gonna have to deal with the fact that he's eating in the background. Oh yes. So something pretty cool about these is they will actually give you the date of manufacture, 8/2019. So there's a lot of things in this video that I'm going to kind of leave out because I've already touched on them in another video. When you're out during a night shoot and you have guys who have things like the Surefire, I don't know, you name it. The one that comes to mind more prevalently is the Vampire. And people are using those for their IR illuminators and they can't see their own flood. It's a pretty satisfying feeling. You know that your money was well spent as soon as you use this. And more importantly, as soon as you use this in contrast or comparison to literally anything else. I'm not the only one who thinks this way. The B.E. Meyers MAWL is absolutely amazing. So why did I buy a second one? Well, my other one wasn't black, and I wasn't about to paint a $2,600 illuminator / laser. So, opening the box. I promise Sterling is almost done with this peanut. Opening the box. Do you guys remember last time that I got the Mall Man? The little Lego? I don't think that's a thing anymore, but we do get a pretty badass sticker. I'm gonna have to hide this because these kinds of things are that little guy's favorite things to destroy. So, owner's manual, I can tell you guys right now that there isn't... Actually, sure, let's just in case you guys decide that you don't want to watch my other video, So button A, button B, button A, button B, button A, button B. So short range, medium range, and long range. It is a little cantankerous trying to remember what is what, but when it's on the weapon system and you're sliding that thing up and down, it becomes very, very intuitive. Alt mode is something that I never actually got into. I really never played with any of the alternate settings. Here's our warranty, warranty information, warranty card. So this kind of leads us to our next point, is the visible and the IR laser are slaved together. And B.E. Meyers has already kind of done the legwork for us. The visible green and the IR laser are slaved together. So for example, this is going on my HK MR556. It is already zeroed, so that's awesome. So they're telling me, place target at 20 meters or the farthest distance a visible laser pointer is clearly visible on the target. And I will tell you right now that during the day, I can light up the side of a building 200 meters away with that green laser and you can see it just fine. Whereas 10 or 15 yards away with a D-ball and the red dot, I can't see it at all. Step 2, align optic reticle with the circle marked optical axis. Step 3, while holding optic alignment, adjust the visible laser pointer until the laser is aligned with the circle marked visible pointer. Once that's done, go ahead and shoot to confirm. But at the same time, you don't really have to, because if you know that your weapon is actually sighted in, and you're just basing everything off of, visible reticle, if that doesn't move, you really don't have anything to worry about. Another great thing about these being slaved together is your visible laser and your IR laser are one and the same, and you do not have to worry about going out at night to confirm your zero with your IR. So if your visible laser is hitting where your reticle is aimed, you're good to go. Ta-da! So I will explain this Allen key in a second. And there is the MAWL. So you might notice a difference here between this version and the version that I had originally reviewed. They came out with a new tail cap because they realized that their other one was really, really annoying. Again, in my last video I scoffed and made fun of a Panasonic. I will tell you guys right now, guess who makes the Surefire batteries? One and the same. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with Panasonic. I was completely being facetious in my last video. So following the direction of the battery, just as it shows in the photo, really kind of a foolproof system. Okay, well, really lock it down to get that O-ring to seal. Don't go super muscle milk on it, but so see that arrow? Off, visible, and IR. So this is not only changing internal stuff, this is actually, so right now off, visible. And one more click is IR. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, this is off. So this is off, and I'll prove it. On, off, on, off. So it is off, you're just seeing weird reflection. So you have fire A and B here. And then you have low, medium, and then instead of a keyed lockout, you push this forward, and there's your high. So, our dummy button is out. Let's put it, no. So what the dummy button does is allows you to do alternate programming. If you want to keep things incredibly simple, you can have every button do the exact same thing in every setting. For example, if you wanted to have low, medium, and high IR to be as high power as humanly possible and have this be flood and this be flood and laser, can do, not a problem. Basically what I'm getting at is you can make it do whatever you want. You'll notice too that we have an indicator here in amber, both on that side and on this side. This is on the new model only. If we turn this from IR, again proving the point that this is not just a lens cover, turn this from IR to, you guys can see both of them now, off, the lights go away. So something that people were like, well, I mean, you could totally have that button on and not realize it, because if you have something covering those lenses, yada yada, not true. So we have a lamp here and a lamp here. Watch what happens when I switch from off to visible. They both came on. And they are really, really, really hard to see. You guys are seeing it, or at least I'm seeing it through my viewfinder a lot better than I can actually see it in real life. And then we go to IR, same story. Now watch those lamps again. Visible and off. Okay, so there's low, and there's medium. Now we go to mid-range, low, and medium. And then, again, we are locked out. So we push this, we get a pulse, or just a steady, consistent 5 milliwatts. It's a double tap to stay on, or just single hold and press, and release. And as you would expect, the green lights turn on when they need to. So let's go to IR. So I'm actually moving my face out of the way because I know that these things are bright enough to actually hurt my eyes. So now if we think of this as low and high, kind of, look at our little dot right there, on, and it looks like those are lighting up, but they're not. So again, we're just focusing on that and letting go. Now if we push this button, compare that to that, that to that. And again, it looks like something's happening, but it's not. You guys will be able to see the difference in just a second. Now we go to medium range. See how it switched sides? And boom, there's our flood. So that's flood and laser. This is so low flood and laser, high flood and laser, and then all the way forward is super doom flood. And this button no longer does anything. So again, we're watching here. We're on low setting. Button A, see that little tiny pinprick of a light. Button B, considerably bigger. Again, A, B. Medium range. Now it switched sides to a higher output, and we have flood. And then button B on medium is super flood and much more powerful laser. And then all the way forward, this button right now is dead. Doesn't do anything. But your forwardmost button turns this into a really concentrated throw and completely just destroys everything that it's aimed at. So another really great appeal of this weapon light is its mounting system. Obviously this is designed to go on a top pick rail. Now if I have never mentioned it before, allow me to mention it now. I do not really care very much for tape switches at all. Something about them is weird to me. I do have one on here just because it came with this light package. For no other reason than that. So now I get to do something that I've wanted to do for a while, and that is take this stupid thing off and remove one very big variable, and that is this tape switch actually working, because Lord knows if it's going to, and installing a standard tail cap. The reason that I do not like tape switches on lights is because if I'm wrapping my gun, I don't want to have to think to myself, do not hit that button because you're going to send insane amounts of light downrange or wherever you didn't intend to. So this is just my opinion, you guys. I understand some of you absolutely love your tape switches and you'll defend them till you're blue in the face, and I'd be okay with that. But for me, tape switches are another variable that breaks. Wires break. Clicky tail caps they usually work. So when I am on my weapon, my hand stop is not here by accident. This is where my hand naturally goes. It makes sense that that would be there. So I can touch it with my thumb, a little bit of a stretch forward, and I can hit it. Okay, easy enough. If you're going around a corner and you accidentally smash that button, and if you were wearing nods or trying to be stealth, it's a lot harder to do that on accident. And before you guys freak out at me, yes, this weapon is loaded. Deal. So a lot of people are like, oh, you should totally be running this as far forward as possible. Well, where do guys run their D-balls, usually? Right about here, right? And yeah, you do get a lot of shadowing. But on the MAWL, pretty much the only disadvantage is the very simple fact that you have to deal with a front sight. I would like it to be there-ish, but however, I'm not going to give up my front sight just so I can run it there. It's totally fine here. Okay, so I'm giving this a pretty firm snug. Okay, now you would think to yourself, well, you're going to be shadowing yourself the entire time. Not true. So, I have the option of blinding you. Or, and again, having this offset, look where everything is. It's up and it's high. So, let's spin our bezel, make sure that we're not going to hit our sight. That would be bad. So from here, good vision from my RMR, good vision through this, and I have full access to 1500 lumens, IR, visible, and off. And again, if you look where my hand is, this is where my hand naturally rests on my rifle. So my fire button is in the most perfect spot. So for my queens out there who absolutely have to have a tape switch, this is not the right one. This of course is for a surefire, will not work. This is a good example. You can use a 2-position switch with 2 plugs, and those 2 plugs go into there and there, corresponding A and B. Me personally, I really like just being able to have my thumb here. So 1500 lumens, fire A, fire B. We're currently on low, medium, and this does take 2 hands, high, medium, low. So now to make life really easy, all I have to do is set this to visible, shoot my beam, and go measure out 20 meters, and make sure that my reticles basically just touch where the green laser is touching. Piece of cake. And function test really quick. Let's make sure I can still access my sights, and yes I can. And folding them down is actually much easier with the tape switch gone. I have to say, if you guys are going to go with an illuminator / laser and you can afford it, there's really no better option than the BE Meyers MAWL. So I'm looking backwards, bear with me. This is button A on low. Okay, so off, button A on low. Here we go for a good contrast of black. That's how pinpoint it actually looks. And button B, a little bit brighter. You guys are about 5 yards from, so you guys are about 5 yards from that wall, and probably 20 yards from there, maybe a little less. So medium, button A. See that flood with that super bright center. Absolutely insanely bright. And then button B, insanely bright. So I didn't want high power button A to do nothing, so I designated it to be just insanely bright laser. And that looks like a flashlight, but that is just a very pinpointed laser. And button B is just total insanity flood. Alright, so again, really quick, running through them all fast. Low power button A, really wide flood, and a very, very tight and focused laser. Though when it hits my curtains over there, it refracts a lot. But that's about how focused it actually looks. Good for CQB. And B, or button B rather, just a little bit brighter. Mid-range, we have huge flood, and it really wouldn't work well for much of anything. And button B is even brighter. And again, all the way up high power, we have an insanely bright laser. Just a laser. And then button B is that really, really, really tightly focused flood. And that would reach out 700-800 meters pretty easily. So again, low, tight focus beam, B, tight focus beam but brighter, mid-range, same flood but a lot brighter center flood / laser, button B mid, even brighter, and all the way up, just super bright laser, and button B is super bright flood. Now let me shine at you guys from the other room. So again, low button B, medium, medium button B, and high. Super bright laser, and button B on high is just super bright, really tight flood. So there it is, through a Gen 3 PVS-14, looking into complete pitch blackness. I'm in love. I demand a like for the ingenuity of the amount of DVDs I had to stack and the amount I had to stack at weird angles for this to work. And outdoor beam shot. Apparently it's decided to start snowing again. So that lamppost that it's not focusing on is well over 100 yards away. Super bright.